Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into some of the most intriguing internet mysteries that have never been solved. Get ready to have your mind blown. Seriously, you guys, I've been going down some serious rabbit holes for this one, and some of this stuff is just wild. Like, it genuinely keeps me up at night thinking about it. We're talking about those corners of the internet that make you question everything. The kind of stories that start as a whisper on a forum and then explode into these massive global enigmas. I've got my snacks, I've got my tinfoil hat, just kidding, mostly, and I'm ready to explore these digital ghosts that still haunt the web. So what happens when the internet, this place of infinite information, just throws up its hands and says, I don't know? That's what we're looking at today. These aren't just campfire stories, these are real events, real puzzles, and real disappearances that have used the internet as their stage, or have been born from its depths. We're going to look at cryptic codes that have baffled the world's best cryptographers, strange broadcasts that interrupted live TV, and even claims of time travel that originated online. It's a journey into the unknown, and honestly, I'm a little scared, but also super excited. I want this to be a conversation too. As we go through these, let me know in the comments if you've heard of them, if you have any theories, or if there are any other internet mysteries that you think are just as mind-bending. The internet is a collaborative space, right? So let's try and piece some of these together, or at least acknowledge how incredibly bizarre and fascinating they are. Grab your own snacks, dim the lights, and let's get into the weirdness. This is going to be a ride, and I'm so glad you're here with me for it. Okay, so first up we have Cicada 3301, and you guys, this one is like something straight out of a spy movie, but it all happened or happening online. Starting in 2012, these incredibly complex puzzles started appearing on sites like 4chan, Reddit, you name it. They just pop up with this image of a cicada and a message saying they were looking for highly intelligent individuals. The goal? To recruit people for, well, that's part of the mystery. No one really knows who's behind Cicada 3301 or what their ultimate aim is. Is it a government agency, a secret society, an elaborate prank by some super geniuses? The questions are endless. The puzzles themselves were insane. We're talking cryptography, steganography, hiding messages and images, classical literature references, philosophy, and even physical clues hidden in locations around the world, like actual posters with QR codes in places like Poland, Hawaii, and Australia. People who tried to solve them had to be experts in so many different fields. It wasn't just about being good at one thing. You had to have this broad, almost encyclopedic knowledge, and every year, for a few years, a new set of puzzles would emerge, each more complex than the last, leading the chosen few deeper into the rabbit hole. It's like they were testing not just intelligence, but dedication and resourcefulness. What's so freaky is the level of sophistication. This wasn't some amateur hour thing. The puzzles involved prime numbers, Mayan numerals, Anglo-Saxon runes, and even out-of-print cyberpunk books. The people who claimed to have solved parts of it and got to the next stage were usually sworn to secrecy or just disappeared from the online discussion. Some believe it's a recruitment tool for intelligence agencies like the NSA or MI6, others think it's a dark web organization, and some even speculate it could be related to cryptocurrency development or some kind of think tank. The fact that it just stopped or went underground makes it even more unsettling. What did they find? Who did they recruit? We just don't know. This next one, you guys, is truly heartbreaking and deeply disturbing, and it's one of those cases where the internet played a role in keeping hope and mystery alive. I'm talking about Tara Calico. Back in September 1988, Tara, who was just 19, went for her usual bike ride in Belen, New Mexico, and just vanished. She told her mom she'd be back by noon to play tennis, but she never returned. Her Walkman and a cassette tape were found along her bike route, but Tara and her bike were gone without a trace. It's every parent's worst nightmare, and the initial searches turned up absolutely nothing. The case went cold for a while, but then, almost a year later, in June 1989, something incredibly chilling happened. A Polaroid photo was found in a convenience store parking lot in Port St. Joe, Florida, over 1,500 miles away from where Tara disappeared. The photo showed a young woman and a young boy, both bound and gagged with duct tape, lying on what looks like bedding in the back of a van or a dark room. The woman in the photo bore a striking resemblance to Tara Calico. There was even a V.C. Andrews book next to her, which was reportedly one of Tara's favorite authors. It was terrifying. The internet, especially in later years with forums and missing persons websites, became a huge platform for discussing this photo and Tara's case. People have analyzed that Polaroid endlessly. Is it really Tara? Who is the boy? Some theories suggested the boy could be Michael Henley, another missing child from New Mexico, but that was later disproven. The photo itself is so grainy and the situation so horrific, it's hard to get definitive answers. Despite numerous leads and suspects over the years, including a local sheriff's son, Tara's disappearance and the mystery of the Polaroid remain unsolved. It's a stark reminder of how a single image can create so many questions and so much pain, and how the internet can keep these cold cases in the public eye, desperately searching for answers. Chapter 3, WebDriver Torso, the alien broadcast on YouTube. Alright, let's shift gears to something that is just bizarre, like truly, genuinely, what am I even looking at? Bizarre. This is WebDriver Torso. If you were on YouTube around 2013, 2014, you might have stumbled across this channel. It uploaded tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of videos. And these weren't just any videos. They were almost all exactly 11 seconds long and featured simple red and blue rectangles moving around the screen, accompanied by strange electronic tones. Like, that's it. Red rectangle, blue rectangle, weird beeping, over and over and over again. Naturally, the internet went wild with theories. What was this? Was it spy communication? Number stations for a new generation? Alien messages? Some people thought it was a test channel for YouTube itself, but it seemed too weird, too specific for that. The sheer volume of uploads was staggering. It was like a machine was just churning these things out. Occasionally there would be a slight variation, like one video famously featured the Eiffel Tower for a few frames, and another had a silhouette of Rick Astley. This, of course, only fueled the speculation. Was it an elaborate ARG, an alternate reality game? Was it some kind of modern art project? The official explanation, when it finally came out, was almost disappointingly normal, but still kinda weird. Google eventually confirmed that WebDriver Torso was one of their internal testing channels, used to measure YouTube's upload quality. The different shapes and tones were apparently designed to test how well YouTube compressed and rendered different types of visual and audio content. But even with that explanation, a lot of people aren't fully convinced. Why the occasional Easter eggs like Rick Astley? Why the name WebDriver Torso? Why so public and so strange for so long? It felt like there was more to it, or maybe we all just there to be more to it. It's a classic example of how the internet can take something mundane and spin it into a massive, captivating mystery. Chapter 4, John Titor, the Time Traveler from 2036. Okay, this next one, you guys, is a deep dive into the truly unbelievable. And it all started on online forums back in the year 2000. I'm talking about John Titor, a name that became synonymous with alleged time travel. This person, or people, claiming to be an American soldier from the year 2036, started posting on various internet forums. He said he was sent back to 1975 to retrieve an IBM 5100 computer, which he claimed was needed to debug legacy computer programs in his time, apparently due to some kind of Unix-related issue in 2038. He said he was just making a stop in the year 2000 for personal reasons. Now, what made John Titor so compelling and honestly a bit creepy were the details he provided. He described his time machine, a C-204 gravity distortion time displacement unit supposedly installed in a 1967 Chevrolet. He posted diagrams, talked about the physics involved, mini black holes apparently, and made predictions about the future. He predicted a civil war in the United States starting around 2004-2005, escalating by 2008, and then a brief World War III in 2015 involving Russia, which would leave major US cities devastated. He also talked about future technologies and societal changes. Of course, many of his specific datable predictions didn't come true, or at least not in the way he described. The US Civil War didn't happen like that, and World War III in 2015 certainly didn't unfold as he outlined. However, some of his vaguer statements, or descriptions of future tech, have been seen by some as eerily prescient, or at least lucky guesses. The mystery isn't just whether he was a real time traveler, which, let's be honest, is highly unlikely, but was John Titor? Was it an elaborate hoax by one person, a group effort, an ARG, or something else entirely? He interacted for about 4 months and then just signed off, saying his mission was complete. The identity and motives behind John Titor remain one of the internet's most enduring and debated mysteries. Chapter 5, The Max Headroom Hijack, When TV Got Hacked. This last one is an absolute classic, and it happened before the internet as we know it really took off, but its legend has grown massively online. I'm talking about the Max Headroom broadcast signal intrusion. Imagine this. It's November 22, 1987 in Chicago. People are settling in to watch Doctor Who on WTTW, a PBS station. Suddenly the broadcast is interrupted. The screen goes black, and then this bizarre, distorted figure appears. It's someone wearing a Max Headroom mask, you know, that stuttering CGI-ish character from the 80s. But this wasn't Max. This was unsettling. The figure, with a distorted, muffled voice, rambled incoherently. There was weird laughter, humming, and he even made a reference to Coca-Cola's Catch the Wave slogan. Max Headroom was a Coke spokesman. The engineers at WTW were scrambling, trying to regain control of their signal, but the pirate broadcast lasted for about 90 seconds before they managed to switch frequencies. But it wasn't over. Later that night, during an episode of Doctor Who on WGN-TV, it happened again. This time, the intrusion was longer, clearer, and even more bizarre. The figure exposed his bare backside, which was then spanked by an accomplice with a fly swatter, all while continuing to make strange noises and comments. The perpetrators of this broadcast hijacking were never caught. Think about that. They managed to override the broadcast signals of two different television stations, deliver this incredibly weird and somewhat disturbing performance, and then just vanished into thin air. The FBI got involved, investigations were launched, but to this day no one knows who did it or how they pulled it off with such precision. The internet has kept the footage alive, with people analyzing every frame, every distorted word, trying to find clues. Was it a disgruntled ex-employee? A prank by tech-savvy hackers? A political statement? It remains one of the most audacious and baffling media hacks in history, a true unsolved mystery that still makes people ask, what did I just watch? And there you have it, you guys. 5 internet mysteries that are still out there, still unsolved, still making us scratch our heads and maybe look over our shoulders a little bit. From complex cryptographic puzzles that might be recruiting for who knows what, to haunting images that could hold the key to a missing person's fate, and bizarre broadcasts that took over our screens, the digital world and the real world can intertwine in some seriously strange and unsettling ways. It really makes you think about the sheer scale of the internet, and how many secrets it might still be holding. What's so fascinating and a little terrifying is that these aren't just stories. Real people were involved. Real efforts were made to solve these, and yet, the answers remain elusive. It shows that even in our hyper-connected world, where information seems to be everywhere, there are still shadows, still puzzles that defy explanation. And maybe that's part of the allure, right? The unknown, the things we can't quite grasp. It keeps us curious, keeps us digging, and sometimes it keeps us up at night. I know I'll be thinking about these for a while. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more intriguing content. See you next time. Let me know in the comments which of these mysteries baffled you the most, or if you have any theories you want to share. I love reading what you guys think. Stay safe out there, stay curious, and maybe don't click on any super weird links late at night, okay? Bye.